Revelation 3678. From the 6th of February 1946. Christ problem. The people of this earth fail at the Christ problem in the last time before the end. And that is because they themselves are devoid of all love and therefore cannot and will not recognize the greatest love. And since the teaching of Christ completely contradicts their desires and their behavior, it is being attacked as an obstacle to the work of reconstruction which they intend to undertake after the work of destruction which was accomplished by the natural disaster. They see in Christian doctrine an obstacle to the execution of their plans, and that is why they declare war on Christ. Total ignorance and a diabolical attitude are the driving forces of this struggle, by which they also want to deprive the knowing followers of Christ of their last support for the sake of earthly goods. For every disposal contradicts the divine commandment of love. People will be forced into a way of thinking which will turn them into devils if they don't defend themselves and take refuge in the one who alone can grant them help against Satan and his servants on earth. To Christ, who will fight against him again. Christ is not acknowledged, for people seek to eradicate everything divine on earth, but they neither recognize Christ as divine nor as Redeemer of humanity, and therefore he is openly pulled down, his name is mocked and ridiculed, and his followers are harassed in the worst way. And his confession to the world is more necessary than ever. For he alone imparts strength to people if they acknowledge his act of salvation. He alone has power over Satan and he alone strengthens people to resist. Without him, however, the human being is powerlessly exposed to Satan's power. Without him he is in firm chains from which he cannot free himself. And for this reason the bearers of truth are given particularly clear information about the problem of Christ, so that they can inform all who desire information about it. It is explained to people that only love constitutes the divinity of Jesus' humanity, that through love every human being shapes himself into a divine being, into a child of God, and that through love every human being achieves extraordinary abilities, because love in itself is a strength which has eternal love as its starting point and is effective in every human being who has become a love. So that people will now also understand that they must never ever reject Christ and his teaching if they don't want to sink into the kingdom of darkness, where weakness and eternal darkness of the souls is the lot. Any battle against Christ as the bringer of the doctrine of love and thus the divine guide to strength and light will therefore result in the most severe and painful consequences if it is not passed. If the fighter does not take Christ's side, where he can never be defeated. And whatever is demanded of people in the last days, who walk with Christ and stand up for him and his teaching, will have extraordinary strength to defy all worldly demands. But those who deny him, who as Satan's servants help him to eradicate Christ and his teaching, will be judged. For their devilish attitude cannot find mercy with God on the day of judgment. Ignorance is no excuse because every person is given sufficient opportunity to think about Christ and his act of salvation, about his mission and his teaching of love on earth, and it will not be difficult for every willing person to find understanding for a problem which only remains a problem as long as the person does not concern himself with it. Everyone who lives in love knows what strength love is, and he also knows that the God-man Jesus only possessed the extraordinary strength because his nature was pure love. And if people are not to fall prey to the prince of the underworld completely without strength, they have to acquire strength through love. They have to follow Jesus Christ, they have to acknowledge him and his teaching, they have to keep his commandments which only require love. And they will remain victorious over all forces of the underworld, for they contend with Jesus Christ, who is and will remain invincible for all eternity. Amen.